Go live. Okay, so we're not on Facebook here, but we are definitely live on um, YouTube, and we're live on Twitch, and we're live everywhere else. So while I'm looking for our incredible show, just bear with me for a few minutes here, everybody, while I pull up our show that we're going to watch, because we have to watch it this way because the original show is missing in action. But last week, The Legends of Photography, here it is. So let's see, that's the replay advertisement. Let's see if this is it. That's the replay advertisement. And July 16th, Insights. And this is 2 hours. Let's see. Okay, here we go. So we're going to play this, everybody, for you tonight. And I want you to sit back and enjoy the show. See if we have volume here. We should have volume. Let's see here. I'm not getting any volume. Does anybody else have volume? So we are, here we go. Hey everybody, we're doing great today. Hello everybody. Hi Marilyn, hi Kusami, hi Tyrone, and Jeff Eichen with Legacy show. It's going to be really excellent tonight. We're going to do some experimenting, and we're navigating the legends of photography, everybody. And I'm going to record this now so we can have a epic vault. So we're recording this. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We're on POD TV, which is going global. And that's really cool because my POD TV people are connecting us with Roku. And so we're getting a lot of visibility. And tonight we have Pep Williams. I'm going to back here. They're doing it again. Somebody's doing it. So you have echo. So everybody, it's Jeff Eichen here, and I'm actually right here. Let's see if we can find me. If I can pull me up and show you me. I'm trying to figure this out here. Where am I? Where is my... Boom. Okay, so there's me, and that is my Zoom, and my Legacy show today is a replay of Pep Williams. So Sir Pep Williams is a photographer extraordinaire, a street journalism and fine art photographer. He's well known for the early days back in the 80s and 90s as an incredible global skateboarder. And so Pep is really an incredible soul, and he's been everywhere from Africa to to Ukraine, probably. Who knows where Pep is now? But last week when we played this show, it didn't get aired properly to YouTube. So for all you who missed the replay last week, just sit back. This is on my Facebook. Have a good time. I'm going to let this roll because I'm talking, and we had a great show, and so it's going to be played again. And I've got it all queued up now, everybody. So this is the replay, and let's see if we can make this happen. I'm going to share screen here, and so I'm glad I know all this technology. Doesn't mean we have it down even after a couple of years of COVID, but here's our show. So enjoy the show, everybody, and I'll comment every once in a while, maybe come in live, check back in. But it's a really beautiful show about the legends of photography. and Pep Williams is right there next to me here with my mouse. And enjoy. And please donate to lifersamovie.com/donate. And that movie will go to our production team, which is me. And so I can keep our quality up and everything. So I hope you can hear me tonight and that it's working properly. Let's take a roll. Okay, here we go, everybody. Okay, I'm not going to worry about my offset. So we're doing great today.
How's everything?
Oh, thank you so much. How was your travels?
Excellent, bro. Excellent. Just, glad to be back and just happy and seeing everyone, seeing some friends out there in Zoom land. Hey, you guys. What's up, bro? Yeah. Hey, how's it going? Zoom me, Maryland. What's up? Yeah, man.
We're in the green room here, behind the scenes. So tonight, this is the first time I've actually done this. I've had live music concerts during Pandem, and I've streamed different senses of my weed show with Tommy Chong. We get prisoners out of jail. We're going to watch the replay and the edit that I did of the over an hour show with Pep, because we got a lot of hot air that we want to breathe into the legends of photography, and to share with you our equipment, our style, our longevity, what keeps us going, what gets our heart to wake up in the morning, and to show our dog tags, where we've been, what we've done, and to survive the duty of being who's got noise? I'm gonna mute y'all. Hang on. Somebody's got some noise here. So I'm gonna mute y'all, everybody. But the thing is that today I just came back from a memorial service for my friend John Lichty, and there were so many beautiful people in that memorial service, and the slideshow was great. The Alaskan salmon, because I live up by Alaska near Seattle, was great. And I'm a vegan, but I had some John Lichty salmon. So we honor all of our brothers that are on the other side, including the masters of photography.
Yes.
Ansel and the Camerons of life, Lartigue, the Westons, and all of those things. I've been spread out for so long doing other projects that are going this way and that way, and I decided after I met Pep to come back to my roots. My roots are my photography. My roots are my, thank God for my father who is right here. That's a picture of my dad. And so he gave me my first Hasselblad when I was like 13. But the roots of photography is where we're at today. And so Pep, tell us a little bit about just an introduction about your love for the art.
Well, I've always I believe we're all artists. It's just we tend to express in a certain, kind of way or different ways. Me with my photography, I got into it in '95, and I just excelled, and it just it got to a point where I didn't really care about shooting for companies anymore, even though they wanted me and they're throwing all this money at me for this and that. But then I decided to go more into fine art photography and to make.
Did you begin shooting skateboarding? Was that one of your first stuff?
It was fashion.
Fashion. Okay. Okay. So now.
Lacoste, Calvin Klein, just the huge names, back in the
And
90s.
Gap. You did some Gap work.
Yeah. Everyone back then. Yeah.
Okay. And so now as we lay our bones down, I laid somebody down today, but as we're getting a little bit seasoned, you're doing more art.
Yes. I believe I've always done the art. It's just I didn't know I could control it. I thought it was more, I needed someone to pay me to shoot or to shoot what they wanted compared to what I chose to shoot. And then that's when I realized people actually preferred what I shot than some designer telling me to shoot something, which I still appreciate it all. I love it all. But I just really got I'm immersed more into it, and it was more of what I truly wanted to do.
And so that's kind of the key to life, right? We do what we want to do.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, I know you've done prison projects along with myself, and see some people that's where they want to be.
Yeah,
You
the
know,
prison thing was very special. It was very special to me because even before I went, it took me 4 years to get permission to shoot in the prison. But I already knew what I could do with that work if I got it done. And then when I finally got the permission to shoot, it pretty much played out kind of how I figured. How I was speaking at colleges all over the world. It's a permanent exhibit at the Archer Museum in Los Angeles. So yeah, like once I see it and I know it, I never stop. I never take no for an answer. I'm very, very persistent in that way. If it's something that really means something, and like I know I can do more with than just take a picture in school, but to educate and like help. That's what I tend to gear my work towards. To influence like future generations, not just now.
well, I'm so blessed to have you on board. The people that are in the room, Marilyn and Tyrone and Christina, do you want to shout out to them and say hey?
What's up, y'all? Yeah,
Hey.
they're
And
all good people.
and Christina, Tyrone, and Marilyn, are you artists yourselves? You're in the green room. We'd love to get you on. Why don't you unmute and say hey?
Hey,
Hello. No, we're not artists.
Yes, they are. Trust me.
Everybody's an artist. You make dinner. You make dinner.
Love art. Love art.
Yeah, they are.
definitely love and appreciate the art. We
Yeah.
checked out some of Pep Williams' art, and we're fans.
Sure.
Cool.
And have you collected yet? Have you collected any Pep?
Not as.
You've collected a lot of pep time.
Yeah. a lot of-
Yeah,
yeah.
it's been cool. Good stuff.
At the coffee bar. Wait. At the cigar bar. Are you smoking a Romeo?
Yeah. The cigar bummer. Yeah.
No, at the lounge.
Are you smoking a Romeo?
Me now? No, not around you.
Well, thanks Tyrone and Christina for being love children and enjoying our Pep. Tonight we're going to watch a replay, and so sit back and grab your favorite wine or your gar, and we'll get to Maryland down the road, and whoever else pops in, I'll let them in. And this is the green room, everybody. Pep, what do you think? Any final words before we get going here?
I think everything's cool, man. I'm just, getting it.
Chilling like a villain. We got Shalana coming in with her audio.
He's an artist.
And
too.
let's break in on Shalana. This is late night on a Saturday, everybody. I just got back from the Oregon Country Fair. That was freaking cool. And I know Pep was out on a assignment this week and having a great time. I'm gonna get a gar afterwards, man. I should have a gar right now.
No.
You know. But this is not my weed show, so I can't really puff on my legacy show. But I got my pipe that I've had for 40 years, so it's a Walmer stuff, So I'm really blessed to have Pep on today. Shalana's audio is still connecting, so I'm just gonna jump in and wish everybody a safe journey tonight. Sit back. This is a long show, but we'll stop it every once in a while and talk about it. And Pep, you can leave your microphone on unmute, and if you want me to stop it, say pause, please, Jeffrey, and then you can explain something if that feels right.
Yeah.
Because this is an experiment on doing a replay,
Yeah.
So my first replay live and everything. So enjoy everybody out there in Universal Magic Movie Land and in Portugal and Uruguay and
in
here
Corona.
comes. And in Corona, and I grew up in Newport Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, now. So hanging with the Cali homies and love it. And here we go. I'm going to share my screen with you. And I didn't send it over to QuickTime, so we're going to play it right from my.
Oh, from the screen,
uh,
awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna do a share screen here, and let's see if I can get my optimized sound. Everybody, we're on Roku, we're on POD TV, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook. Everybody, just sit back on a Saturday night and kick back. If you had some music involved tonight that you were gonna go out and see some music at 9, we'll be done maybe by 9. So here we go. I'm gonna share all with you all here. So we're going to go to the back room here, everybody. This is my editing room here. So I'm going to show you exactly how I roll here. And that's my that's my edit for today. And it's actually really fun to be an editor. It's a lot of work, so throw me the dough and I'll help you out, everybody. And here we go. Let's see, go home, and then we got. Oh, we got it. We'll scrub it a little bit. Look, we're scrubbing it. Can you see it? We're scrubbing, everybody. So here we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Legacy Show on POD TV and Roku with Jeff Eichen. Spoken word, and sometimes we go live, and maybe even as we speak. We are streaming live, everybody. Welcome artists from all around the world, especially photographers, in this series that we're focusing on, Haha. This is where photographers have an opportunity to tell their legacy and share from the inside on how they began their career and what keeps them going. What is their food for longevity? Welcome to the Legacy Show with your host, Jeff Eichen, and today, Sir Pep Williams, a world-renowned artist, global street photographer, and photojournalist. Folks, my teacher, Bernard Freemesser, at the University of Oregon, always he spoke these 3 words: feel the light. Folks, what is your legacy? So tune in this Saturday at 7 p.m. Pacific time for a sit down and a replay of the edited version of our incredible time with Pep Williams, the extraordinary photographer, global, and journalist. And listen to us and come on our Zoom chat if you want to be in the green.
What's up, brother?
What's up, brother? What's up, brother? What's up, brother? What's up,
Oh,
brother?
I remember that. It was crazy. Wow.
Right?
Yeah,
I use it like hip hop. I scratched it in.
that's the remix. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Here we go, everybody. Get ready for blast
people
off. Including Anthony Bourdain and all the people went around the world doing what we're doing. I mean, we're just another bunch of people experiencing life on the planet.
Yeah, it's awesome.
You know. So it's great to meet you live and to be with you. I'm flabbergasted that you've given me your time and space. And my father, here's his camera, baby.
Wow. Ooh, look at that. That is nice.
And this lens is a 120 macro.
Wow.
And because just like when I bought my house, I got it at the right time. This lens was $400. I enjoy every time when we're together. When you're holding space with me, it feels like the old days when I was with Brett Weston and when I was with Ansel, I was with Sarkowski and my teachers that studied with all those people. So it's just really blessing to begin my new show that I want to do about the legends of photography. And so everybody, welcome today. I'm wearing my New York short shirt today because I miss New York. So I'm from LA. I grew up in Orange County, everybody. Today we have Pep Williams on the Legacy episode. And I do a few Legacy episodes every month. And I just talked to my back office today, and they're getting us geared up to go to Roku. And so we're really excited.
So,
Very nice.
there we are. We're live on POD TV, everybody, and we're
Yeah.
live on Facebook. We're live on Facebook. Hey, hey. And, about half a year ago, I interviewed Suze, and Suze is the Fifth Supreme.
That's right. I remember you mentioned that. That's so cool, man.
And Suze was really fun to interview, to be on this journey with not just legends, but people that are following their dream. Following their dream and doing what it takes to wake up in the morning and go through all the possibilities of life. My teacher told me at the University of Oregon in 1976, that's a lot of years ago, that's 40, 50 years ago, that when you go in the canvas, 6 hours can go by, and that's the magic of the artist, of not having your mind on 50 different things at once. This canvas back here
I
was
love
painted
that. Yeah.
by a prison
Yeah.
inmate,
Right
and
there.
so
There's
I
so many
photographed the
things-
prisoners. Yeah,
What was
were you
that?
saying something, Bev?
No, I'm just listening.
Okay, cool. There we go. Just with this, I photographed Jeff Mazavsky. That's the photograph I find out about. And why don't we just get started, everybody? This is a new episodic bend in the highway, everybody, for me. I'm going to come back to my photography, my roots, and I'm going to start to go find Annie Leibovitz. Is Herbert still alive?
No, her passed away. Yeah.
Okay, so we can get their people too that are around them to interview them and say, how was it like growing up or being Herb's wife or child, So I want to move this slowly but carefully and get it on record about what I call the wet side story. The wet side story is those that were in the dark room. Jerry Ilsman just passed away, and I talked to his wife Maggie on a little chat, and she said he never went digital. He stayed in the dark room.
I know a few photographers who never went digital. They just prefer it. I think with film, it's more of like a super personal touch, like extremely. You're truly a part of it. And I
Are
know
you an audiophile also? Are you an audiophile?
audiophile, as in on what I'm speaking on right
As
now?
in high-end audio, listening to good stereos, and
on my
a
both.
lot of photographers are. I'm making a correlation between high-end audio when they went to CD as opposed to the LP. The sound, the timbre.
Yes. It's so true. Yeah. I'm big on that. But for my friends who shoot strictly film, it's more of because they get to personally touch it, from the chemicals to the smell to the just environment where it's so dark and you're just looking at that one thing come out. So to them, it's very, very personal that way.
The dance in the darkroom for 30 years for me was quite remarkable and amazing. I enjoyed it so fully. And then, what was it, 80 something, I got Photoshop 2 or 3. And I really appreciated it because I was a renter at that time, living in LA, and I couldn't get my closet into a bitchin' darkroom with a sodium safe light and a Zone 6 8x10 enlarger.
Wow.
But my friend did. My friend had a Zone 6, and I got to enlarge my 8x10 negatives. The most remarkable, Ansel kind of thing. He had that horizontal enlarger, and he had 24 diodes that he dialed down and burned and dodged the negative before it was printed onto the wall that big.
That's a cool
And I think the
enlarger.
ritual that you're talking about is the sacredness of waking up in the morning, grabbing your burnt toast and coffee, and it was just really beautiful to watch the dance.
Yeah, yeah. It's a total ritual, I believe, and it's super personal. That's just the way I see it. Just you're touching and you're in control of every aspect of it, from the shutter to the print, and all in between. It's all you.
It's really, really a it's so nice to be able to once and for all talk about photography in the sense of, if you're a chef, you talk about knives. Do you have ceramic or do you have, pound hammered from Japan? And so it's really beautiful to hang with you today. Do you have some of your most favorite photographs? I mean, that you can think of, or one that follows you
Oh,
that
of
most
course.
people collect? That most people collect?
Yeah. Basically, for me, I have maybe just a handful of them.
Right.
And ones I have, well, there's one I have which I just actually printed one. Actually,
Uh-huh.
I printed one, and then I had my other friend, like the second one I printed, he painted on, and that's it. And then I destroyed the file because I tend to do that with my work for my collectors because that's it. That's a work of art, and that's it. So I usually do one of two, one of three, depending on the pieces, and sometimes I'll go as far as seven. But well, I think the most I've done is, well, like of course, if it's an open series, it's like forever. But certain pieces, max 12, and I usually do seven and sometimes three, and then I destroy the file.
Would you say that's your credo that makes your the value of a photograph? Because painters, they only have one unless they do a giclée. Okay? Yeah.
Exactly. And I learned from a friend of mine. He taught me, well, not so much because I just wanted to have the special kinds of work I have. But for me, I like them because there's only so few in the world. And like to me, that's just like personal. So I just wanted it for myself. Like certain things we have, certain cameras we shoot, we can pretty much shoot anything on any camera. It doesn't matter, but sometimes we prefer a Hasselblad. Sometimes, from Leica to Phase One, it's just a personal thing where we're connected to. And when I have certain pieces, there's been shows I've done where I had a piece up on the wall, someone purchased it or they made a bid on it, and I made it higher so they couldn't take it home. Because I wanted to keep it because it was mine. Even though I could have easily printed something, but when I see it on the wall, I disconnect from myself, and I'm a fan of my work. So I actually, it's like, wow, man, like I want that. Even though I can go home and make 1,000 of them, but I want that one, and that's.
Do you remember the photographer? Do you remember the photographer Minor White?
I know the name, of course.
He said, well, two people said in photography lore. First, I'll go to Edward Weston. He said, photography is when rock is a rock.
Mhm.
When a rock is a rock. That was his line. Minor White, who did mostly abstracts, beautiful, incredible teacher. He taught at Rochester, probably, and he was a great guy. He said, windows or mirrors? What are you making? Are you making windows or mirrors when you have that camera? Do you do windows or mirrors?
Well, I see it before I shoot, and if I don't see it, I
Mhm.
don't. It doesn't matter where I go. Like if I'm like I just left Africa, and like I knew what I wanted. I didn't know the person or the subject or the place, but when I felt it, I shot it. I shot like I was there this last time 2 weeks, and I shot I think maybe 12, 13 images. That's it because I feel it. If I don't feel it, I just leave my camera at home. I don't just go.
Now, answer me this, riddle me this, Batman. When people are listening to you, and we're teachers and sharing with the world, what we do and how we do it. When you say I shot 12 or 13 images, does that mean only 12 or 13 subjects? You know, like you go to a site, but I mean, not 12 or 13 exposures. I mean, clicks.
Yeah, clicks.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. It's like I don't like even on like certain photo shoots. I've been on huge sets where I've shot only 4 frames because that's the shot I got it. We're done. Everyone go home. And this was several covers of magazines. I did Apple Billboard. I believe it was 8 frames. I did. And like for me, if you know what you want, why do you have to shoot all day? This is it. This is what you want done. All right, cool. Because I visually see it first, and it's hard to explain. But when I see it, I see it. But it's even before the shoot, so it's easier to capture because I'm very, what's the word? I just see it. It's just hard to explain. I just see it first. And
So when
it's
somebody
about-
hires you as a art director or magazine producer, they know what to expect, as opposed to saying, "Come on, man, we need 50, you know, viewpoints of her in case her lips are bad." You know, they know that when they hire you, they're gonna get it. They're gonna get it.
Yeah, like for me, people like the brands I work with, who I choose to work with, actually, they know me and they know how I work. We could shoot, yeah, we can go to Starbucks, we can go hang out, then we come back to the set. I was shooting a family, you know, celebrity family with the kids, and the shoot was set for like all day. I think it was a 5 hour booking. And we shot about maybe 30, 40 minutes because I said, just let the kids play. Just let them play around. We can go eat upstairs. We can do whatever. And we're being charged for the space. But the kids, they were nervous. So just let them play, get comfortable, and get tired. Then we come back and we shoot.
Like a puppy, run them tired.
Run them. So like for me, I understand because I've been doing it like like a while or whatever. But it's more of like understanding the subject, but also really understanding them if they're nervous. Like I've had a couple of artists who are super popular, but they're nervous in front of the camera. It's easy when they're around their people. And this one guy said, "Man, I need a drink." And I was like, "What?" But he needed a specific drink. And I said, "Do you know how far we have to go for that?" He's off. I said, "Don't worry about it." I said, "Let's hop in the car." We left the set. There's like maybe 15, 16 people, makeup, stylists. I said, "We'll be back." I just put him in a comfortable zone. We drove around, we went to the store, got him what he needed. We came back, we're just laughing, and he was so calm. So if you can understand that person to get them in a comfortable space, and he didn't even drink. And that's what made it cool, because he didn't even need it. It just was nervous and thought he did. So I tend to.
That's the intuitive nature of being calmer than your subject matter.
Always, because like for me, I've never been nervous on set. I don't care how big it is or who it is or whatever. I just want to hurry up and get it over so I can go, and so I can hang out with the person. Because the more you get to hang out with the person, the more you get that connection, and it's more than just, oh, let's shoot for this magazine and all right, bye. No, let's hang out. Let's get to know each other first. So we just click, boom.
So that covered one of my bullet points here. I got a bunch of bullet points for you. It says, saying if you were starstruck, just saying if you were starstruck, which you're not. You know, we can
I was one
go
time.
out with, but we can go out with the hippos and the lions in a safari and go, whoa, what's happening?
Yeah.
And but this one says, saying if you were starstruck, who was the one?
There was one. I'm not gonna lie.
Come on.
It's interesting because when I tell the story, people are like, "No way." I'm like, "Yeah."
Okay, who was it?
It was the Gypsy Rose.
I'm going to pause for a second, everybody, and come back to Pep here. And so here we are. Let's see if I can get us to come back here. Boom. Oh, we had it here. Hang on. Hang on to what we got. Da 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 da. You got oh, I know what's going on here. We are definitely back. We're in. There we are. Okay, so we're going to go right back here, and we're with Pep now and the whole clan here. We're getting ready to listen about the Gypsy Rose. That was one of my favorite stories, man.
Yeah, 100%. It's the only celebrity thing that's ever just me ever. Yeah, no one else. Or nothing.
You were shaking in your boots just to get near it, or did you drive it? Did you get to take a ride in it?
Well, no one ever got to touch it, and he left. And actually, it's on the cover of my Facebook. I'm sitting in it. I'm sitting in it.
And tell us about the gentleman that painted Gypsy Rose. He's in heaven now.
Yeah, Jesse's father, Jesse Valdez. There's a TV show back in the 70s called Chico and the Man, and in the beginning of it, in the credits, you had like a lowrider, 64 Impala, and easiest car to draw. So I would actually draw that car when I was in kindergarten, in first grade. So years later, when I was around maybe 10 years old, my grandmother got a color TV, and I didn't realize the car was pink for all those years. So then after that, I got to meet Jesse, and then I finally got to go to his house. And we went to his house, and he raised that garage. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" It's like the ultimate. And right now, the car is actually in a museum.
Did you ever photograph War, the band War?
No, but I know them.
And how about this? For Jesse's car, Low Rider.
Yeah, lowrider in the world. So, yeah, the Gypsy Rose.
Did he ever take it down Hollywood Boulevard on Fridays?
It was a real car, and this is like he's been since he passed. It was always driven since the 70s.
Right. So it was his Cholo streetcar for showing off and bouncing down Hollywood Boulevard on Fridays.
Everywhere, Whittier, Slauson, Mexico City, Washington D.C., you name it.
Did you hear recently that Cheech just opened up a Chicano museum in Riverside? Were you there? Have you seen it yet, or did you go to the opening?
I know most of the artists there. They're all like-minded, pretty much.
Yeah, I was doing I met Magoo before Magoo passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And do you remember Magoo?
Yep, of course.
Yeah, and so before Magoo passed away, and my buddy bought his car with the cactus interior, and so he still has that. Yeah, he still has that car, and he's in Fullerton. So let's get back to the show here, everybody, and we're on Experimental 9 replay and hanging with the bros and hanging with the sisters, and hi Shalana and Christina and Tyrone. And here we go. We're going to go back and see how I can flow back into my software here. And hello, everybody around the world and that are hanging with us tonight. We're watching Pep's replay here. So let's see if I can get it here. And here we go.
It's a car. So when I was 5 years old, there is a TV show called Chico and the Man, which everybody
Remember?
back in the day. Well,
Right.
there's a 64 Impala in the credits that came on, and I would always draw it because the 64 is so simple to draw.
There it is,
This was
baby.
all throughout like elementary,
Hi, Jesse.
And like until I was around, how old was I? Maybe 8 years old, 9 years old. I never like seen that TV show on a color TV. Right. And I didn't know that that car was pink. I was like, no way. It was like my favorite car. So then years later,
Hold on,
you know, you
Jesse.
see the Gypsy Rose pop up, it's there or whatever. Then I finally
The
got,
Gypsy Rose was the car.
yeah, it's called the world famous Gypsy Rose. It's actually on the cover of my Facebook. And so basically,
Where's that car now? Who's got it? Does
It's at-
Peterson have it?
Yeah. It's at
Peterson
Yeah.
got it right.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that the one on Wilshire? Is that the one on Wilshire?
That's the one.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the one. So I got to know Jesse, rest in peace. He invited me over, and because I wanted to do something, because his car was just sitting in a garage collecting dust. And I was like, dude, no, we have to do something. We have to, come up with something cool. So he said, oh, like, come over. So I came over, and he lifted that thing. I was like, there it is. There it is. 40 something years later, I finally got to see that car, and no one was able to touch that car, just him and his family. And then he's all, have a seat in it. I said, are you kidding me? It's the one time I was just like, I felt like a little kid. And it was amazing. And then I got to enjoy the journey with Jesse, like taking his car to car shows, and then finally seeing it like travel like around the country, and then eventually winding up at the Peterson with Bruce in Bruce's collection. So it was really, really cool.
Who is the owner of Peterson? Who manages their collection? I mean, who do you know?
Bruce. VR,
Bruce.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
And-
a cool guy. He heavy car guy. And I remember when I went there, one of the few times I had a chance to go on the vaults. It's insane. It's like all of the cars that you've seen from every movie, everything. Craziest car was Elvis's Ferrari, and this is all under Wilshire Boulevard. Insane. Yes, hundreds and hundreds of cars, and they had Elvis's.
You mean down in the cave, down in the Bat Cave?
Underneath the museum. And Elvis was mad one day, so he shot his car, and the bullet is still in the car. It's so cool. And then they had Fred Astaire's car there.
Was that a caddy? Was Elvis's car a caddy?
It was a Ferrari, actually.
Oh, the Ferrari. You did say that.
Yeah, and but my favorite was actually Fred Astaire's Rolls. Beautiful. Yeah.
My mom had a '73 Corniche convertible,
Beautiful.
and it was a '70s version, and it had these slim lines on it. It was a 2-door. It looked so feminine, and it was beige, and the carpet was beige, and it had like fur carpet and everything, and a soft top. And when my stepfather sold it, he asked me if I would help him to sell it, and then I moved out of the state, and it got all jumbled. And my friend Lisa in LA, she said, Jeffrey, get your mom's Rolls and paint it like the Beatles did. Put paisley on it, and,
That's so cool, man.
Yeah. Well, let's roll through my little list here for a minute and get with Legacy. Everybody, we're going to reset the room here. It's Jeff Eichen with the Legacy Show, and you can find us on Linktree, Jay Eichen. You can go to Lifers the Movie. Any one of my portals will get you to a replay. And soon we'll be on Roku, and we're navigating the digital world. And this series, this photography series that we're doing right now, is the spoken word show. We're going to read my little scrolly bar here, and it's honoring the photographers. And so it's the legends of photography today. And our first episode is with Pep Williams. And so I just got a question I didn't even write down. It's coming up. It just flew in.
Mm-hmm.
Black and white versus color. What is your your dream about black and white versus color?
For me, I think if I'm more specific, it tends to be more black and white. If I'm more open, it's more color. Like, what's the best way to like explain it?
You just did.
Yeah, I think if I'm shooting color, it's the whole scene of the image. If I'm shooting black and white, I want you to focus on a specific thing. It almost sets a tone, like a mood. And yeah, I think that's it for me because I love both, obviously.
Fantastic.
But
Fantastic. Yeah, a lot of photographers share with me, and even the masters when I was a kid, that for them black and white was more about the light. It was
Mhm.
more about it was more emotional because
Oh,
we see everything. We
Mhm.
see everything in color every day, they told me.
yeah, when I'm shooting with the Leica monochrome, I don't even look at color really. I'm looking at shadows, and that's how I use that camera because I don't use flash. When I'm shooting with the monochrome, it's strictly by the darks, and until I actually started using that camera, I realized the black and whites really aren't like it really isn't black and white. It's black and grays. It's just numerous shades of gray. And then that's when I started to really see it because it isn't pitch black. Black and white, we can black and white, all right, cool. But it's really like shades of gray. So I started to, it was like 264, like the Leica 264, I believe it is. 264 shades of gray is what the camera, deals with. And I actually prefer the first monochrome than the second and third. But yeah.
Oh, you mean the first sensor? You like
they're
the way
so
that
different. They're so different.
Oh wow,
Completely.
wow,
Yeah. Completely.
wow,
Mhm.
wow. Well, I'm gonna challenge you for a second.
Okay. That's a back of something.
That's a Hasselblad.
Yes,
Polaroid
yes.
back.
Yeah, that's the back. Yeah, for sure.
That's a Hasselblad Polaroid back.
Yeah, that is so cool. Very, very cool, man. I have my house.
We would
right
pull.
here.
Oh, nice, nice. And it even has film in it. Look, it even has film in it.
Mhm. I miss doing Polaroids, but it was more like, of course, I love Hasselblad because it kind of slows you down a bit, almost like the Leica. But it's more like back in the day, you had to shoot it. You use your light meter. You took a Polaroid. I mean, you checked and checked and checked.
Back in the day.
Into it, and that's what I don't think. If it was photography now,
Right.
back then, now people have more than 80% would even own a camera because it's you really had to put in the work. It
You
wasn't-
know the camera that put me out of architectural photography with the 4x5 business?
Mm, mm.
That's the camera, the high res cell phone. All the architects walked in and said, "Forget you, Jeff Eigen." When we went digital,
Yeah.
and magazines started to accept it. They would accept a 3 megabyte file.
Oh, I used to like my first digital camera was 2004 or five. It was a Nikon something. I forgot what it was, and I was shooting a magazine cover, and it was a 3 megapixel camera. It was little like almost like a point and shoot.
And no raw.
It just whatever came out the camera, and I sent it in, and I was amazed because I could email it. I was like, this is crazy. So I sent it. They did their thing. Next thing I know, it's on the newsstand. It was with Mike Muir from Suicidal Tendencies, and it was some magazine cover he was on. I forgot. And I said, wow, this was too easy compared to printing, getting it back, then shipping the images. And da, 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 da. I mean, it was, yeah. That a week's process took like 10 seconds, 15 seconds.
Yeah, I would go to Tom's and A&I and all the photographers be around me on the light box going, you know, blah,
Mhm.
blah, and I miss my lube. I found it the other day. I found a really like a Schneider lube. It was,
Wow, yeah, I remember just submitting slides and not even dealing with editing or anything. You know, you just send it into the magazine and hope it like came out cool the way you wanted it. You know, I remember that part.
hey. Well, everybody, again, we're with the Legacy Show and we're talking to legends in photography. We have Pep Williams here today. Who influenced you as a child to go after your dreams and be who you are, be different, and be solid? Who was that teacher, family member, or musician
Mm,
when you were a child?
it's I guess it was like I almost think you're born with it because I've always been like both me and my sister. We've always been, let's just go, figure it out. It wasn't. It's it's almost like we weren't taught. Um, we weren't even shown. We just went out and sought it, and it just evolved, and it just happened, and we just had a natural curiosity of like what's out there. And even me, because I was a pro skater, you know, coming up as a teenager, you know, getting a chance to tour, you know, the world and seeing like different things, I wanted more. I've always had that curiosity to explore and to learn, mostly to learn from others and just friends. And I love people. So of all the places I've ever been, I still consider them family in all the countries I've been to. So whenever I go back, this is wonderful. And it wasn't learned; it was just in me already since a kid.
So who influenced you? I mean, was there an
Art
influencer
photography.
or
Influences?
well, just
I-
not even as a photographer, but to be different. I mean, was that your sister and you just like tooled around?
It wasn't an influence; it's just who we are. It's just who
Mhm.
we were. I think some people, like if you come up in an environment where everything is either given to you or you're programmed to be a certain kind of way, then you become that, and later, wow, this person's cool, and it influences you. We were just always seeking, and we didn't really have a guide, so we kind of went blindly out into it.
Okay.
And
So it wasn't an uncle, it wasn't Miles
Yeah.
Davis, it was
Oh,
it
no,
was
no.
the process. It was the process of moving through life.
It was the
Well, everybody, I'm really excited here to play with our technology here and come back to the to see if I can remember how to do this one. Here we go, and we are here now, back in action here.
yeah.
And I'm going to go back to my Final Cut here and see if I can get it to bring us back to us here. Boom, escape, boom. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to go back to here and we'll get this down probably episode 2. And we're back with everybody. Tyrone and Christina and Shalana or Shalana, correct me if I'm wrong.
You got it
Shalana?
right the first time, actually. That was perfect.
Shalana?
Shalana, the first time you said it
Oh,
earlier.
I
Thank you so
had
much.
two guesses. Hey, well,
Hey, you did better than most.
give us your take on the art of photography yourself and being an artist. I heard you were sneaky. We got a sneak peek that you're an artist. Tell us how you're feeling about watching the Legacy show and Sir Pep.
I'm actually learning more about him, which is pretty cool. Funny story, the first time I said hello to him was because I fell in love with the picture of him in that car.
Yeah.
It was the
Whoa.
most beautiful car I had ever seen. Like, I'm a girl that likes cars. I
Yeah.
can't necessarily fix a car, okay? So I'm not going to brag about that. But I love them. I love the art of the cars. I love the shape of the cars. I've been to Peterson 100 times. But that was the first time I said, hey, how you doing? Was that picture, which is really funny. And I do have to go, but something you said, Pep, about that's who you always were.
Yeah.
I have a belief system that we're kind of already born who we are.
Yeah.
And we're either gonna, we can grow, we can learn, we can expand. But people, I believe, are who they are when they come here, when they, whatever your belief system is. I have a kind of different one, but I believe that. Children come to us as who they are. We can nurture them as much as we can. We can mold them as much as we like, but they are who they are. So I completely understood that statement. I think that's pretty cool.
Awesome.
Awesome, yeah. You know, I met Miguel Ruiz, who wrote the Four Agreements, and I asked him in
No
an
way.
interview, yeah, I asked him, what's the fifth agreement? You want to know?
Is there a fifth? Go ahead.
The fifth agreement, he told me, is exactly what you're saying. He said, when you take all four agreements and you make them into one, you graduate into your authentic self. And he says, once you become your authentic self, you begin to listen. And that's when my interviews became different. That's when I started to listen more to the light and the river. And you just said we come on board. And then Miguel said, once we come on board, we have to find our authentic self.
Yeah.
That's true.
Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool?
It's cool that you got to meet Miguel. That's pretty awesome.
I left my lens cap on 2012 in Chichen Itza back at the hotel, and he was in the backyard taking an interview, and he sat down with me for 15 minutes and pulled my own interview. I had my mic and my tripod, and if I didn't go back for my lens cap or my filter, whatever it was, just like you seeing Pep in the Rose, car, it's synchronistic, and I really believe in. Once we're in a higher space, we do the best to stay there. Don't drug out or alcohol out. Have fun, but become our authentic self. for
It's
sure.
true. Well, I'm going to step out, but I think you're doing great, by the way, as somebody who's racked your brain to think of things to ask people. It's it's difficult. I've interviewed quite a few people, and it's I get to the point where I don't want to ask the same old things. You kind of want to touch on something that people can kind of identify with. I'm really mad about the cigars. Thanks, guys, both of you. Nobody got me one, but yeah,
Tyrone has it.
I'm gonna blame someone else. Hi, Tyrone.
Hello.
No, he does not. Pat. Nice try. But
I wish we could pass the dookie to the left hand side.
right?
You know,
I was asked
through
for those for
Zoom.
quite some time, but it sounds good. But yeah, it was wonderful meeting you, and I appreciate you including me. You're doing great. I love the questions. I love the feel. I think it's going to do really well.
Okay, great. And if you want, here I'll put in the chat box here if I can find the chat box here. Here's the chat box. I'll put in my website. You can follow me. It's lifersamovie.com.
Oh, I already
And oh, you did? Okay, fantastic.
did.
Well,
you're- She's efficient. She's very good. She's
okay, you're ahead of the game. Find me, and you know what, Shalana,
Perfect. Yes.
Shalana.
come on a legacy show, Shalana. We just invited you live globally to
that's-
my legacy show.
As you can see, there's no camera on. I don't like being in front of the camera. I hate being in front of the camera. But this is good. I can do this all day.
Yeah.
Papa Bear, don't matter if you, Jeffy Fresh here. If you want to have a beautiful portrait, we'll just have a portrait hold spot, and we'll interview you, and you'll tell your story. Here comes
Awesome,
Lillian,
I would love
everybody.
I would love it.
Yeah, well, one goes out and one comes in. We got Lillian coming in. And Shalana, thank you for your beautiful words. And don't forget, you inspired me to tell the authentic self. And I think you're doing great also. Thank you.
I appreciate it. You have a good night.
Later.
Bye, Pat.
Yeah. Nice to meet you. So Solana, far out. And here's Lillian.
What's up, Lily?
Pep.
What you doing?
Hi, Lillian. Lillian's audio is still connecting. So Lillian, we're blessed to have you. We're doing a legacy show with Pep and a replay of the show we did a couple weeks ago now. And Pep's probably been at different places of the planet since then. And me too. Just got back from the Oregon Country Fair. I was really happy.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, this is my new cup I got from the Oregon Country Fair. It's in purple, but I get one cup every year. My cabinet's full of cups, so I get one cup every year. So, Lillian, say hey.
Oh, hello.
What's up?
Oh, baby, how are you tonight?
Oh, I'm fine. How are you?
How's that full moon treating you?
I don't know. I've been outside yet, but I guess it's good.
Okay, great. Well, welcome aboard and say hello to Pep.
Hi, Pep.
What up? How's it going? Actually, the moon was huge yesterday.
Yeah.
What's it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was gigantic. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, sometimes the atmosphere really pulls it out. Have you ever seen the moon like giant between buildings in New York or LA, Pep?
LA, of course, definitely. I saw
Yeah,
it.
where it's huge and it's right in between a building. Yeah,
Yeah, man.
it looks photoshopped. Well, Lillian, you got any creativity that you want to share? What is your specialty, Lillian?
Clothing, custom clothing, ready-to-wear clothing, but basically everything to do with clothing.
And beautiful shaggy do. You got a shaggy do there. I love your hair.
Shaggy just did something with the rapper Lil Pump.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
She designed this real cool jacket.
Yep.
Oh, nice. And are you? You got it? Oh, look, you got the background on it. Oh, there it is. Hang on. There. Wait. Come back. You're out of focus. Bring that
Oh.
jacket back. Bring that jacket back. Bring it closer to the camera. There you go. Okay, now back further. Back a little bit further. Hold it up in front of your face. Hold it in front of your face so that. Let's
Wait,
get it in
back up
focus.
maybe one more foot.
Back up just a little bit. Back up.
Little more,
Back
little
up.
more.
Keep backing.
It should come right about now. Maybe not.
Up. Coming closer.
I think it's the background
There
that
it is.
shows
Oh.
it.
Oh, we had it. Go back just a little bit right. Come in now. Come in slowly. Come in. Come closer. Slowly. Come slowly closer to the lens.
You can feel the jacket.
There you go.
There we go.
It's beautiful, and everybody, we're gonna go back to our legacy episode. So lay back, Lillian, and grab a cigar and join us on the replay here. And you're fantastic. Thanks for joining us. Here we go, everybody. And thanks everybody for joining us tonight. So here we go. A movie through life.
Process, and then every day you learn something new, which means, man, I can learn something else. Then you go more and more and more and more and more and more. And it just it's just that sense of curiosity, sense of wanting to know what's out there. I even used to do this. Do you remember in the phone books back in the 80s, they listed every single bus line? Do you remember that from the RTD?
Oh, right, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would go home and I had a marker and I wanted to ride every single bus just so I could see more. And I did. I've ridden every single line in LA from Pomona to Riverside to Agora to Irvine to Palos Verdes and all in between because I needed more. And then that's when the travel came and yeah, it was just cool. So not so much an influence on that.
So why photography? What happened? What was the
Photography was easy money. It was easy money. When it was in '95, I was doing a fashion show and one of the designers booked a photographer, but the photographer had already booked another shoot. And then, so he left. So he's freaking out. Da, 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 we have a shoot tomorrow. No, two days out, actually. And he's freaking out. And I found out the job paid $6,000. So I said, I'm a photographer. It can't be that hard. It's simple. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So,
Right.
you look through the hole, you press a button. So he's like, what? You're a photographer? Like, we never knew. I'm like, yeah. So give me the check and let me go do my thing. And he basically was like, well, we need to see your portfolio. And I said, we don't have time for that. We have to get this done now. We have to get the equipment, blah, 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 blah. He said, oh, you're right. You're right. Gave me the check. So I went to Santa Monica College and I put up one of those little flyers, which you pull the thing off, looking for an assistant. $250. First person called, got the job. So I went to Sammy's over on La Brea, and I said, what do you think we need? And he set the whole thing up.
Right.
We just rented. And I said, this was simple. So he put it on a tripod. Click, 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 click. I don't know how many rolls I went through, but $6,000 later, they're happy. White background. How can you go wrong? But
Well, those were the days they were throwing money. I mean, the top end, high enders,
it was easy.
they were throwing money, right? I remember I was on the plane once, going to do a shoot in, I think it was Miami, at a resort, a golf resort or something. And I was actually a photo assistant learning from my teacher, but I was sitting next to a young kid and I said, what's your shtick? And he says, I'm Annie Leibowitz's photo assistant. And I said, what? And I was a photo assistant, making scratch, but learning. It was the architectural world and learning. And he said, Annie comes in for 10 minutes and it takes me 2 hours to set the shoot up.
Oh yeah.
And she comes in and
Yeah, that's it. And like I remember at every shoot I'd ever been to, the assistant does everything until I had to shoot for designers like my own. I said, well, I've been doing it for a year. I can do it myself, save some money because it's not that hard. But I learned how to set everything up. But I didn't understand the perspective in shooting fashion is completely different. So this company, companies would send me clothes from all over the country. I would get the model, shoot them on the clothes, then I would, send them prints back. This guy made me shoot it 3 times. He's like, what is this crap? I said, what are you talking about? He's all, quit shooting the model, shoot the clothing. So what the model's wearing the clothes? Like, what are you talking about? So I shot it again. He's like, nope, do it again. I'm like, ah. So then I said, let me focus and let me just see, just throw away all my thinking and what he's talking about, and I saw it. Then I sent it to him. He's like, these are beautiful. Thank you so much, but I'll never work with you again. But I learned my
that's what
lesson.
he said, or that's what you said?
Oh no, that's what he said.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was $1 million. That was $1 million school.
Big time. And I remember it took a week for him to even get the prints. So that was a course of 3 weeks from printing, development, not even printing because I just sent him the slides.
Those were the film days.
From developing and then shipping to Denver. And then by the time he got it, it was 4 or 5 days later.
I had a client that I had for years, and I would photograph their museum gallery, right? And I'd go in there and I'd bring my Norman strobes because I didn't have the big Elecchromes, So I brought my big old 2000 Normans, and I had like 6 heads, and I bounce them off the ceiling and get a smaller aperture and do 4x5 and get great angles and my Super Angulon, my 90s. And I had a 65 Super Ang, and they thought that was amazing. I could get the whole room in one shot, right? And it looked beautiful, and the rooms were teeny, and I was really amazed that they um, tried to tell me once I had my digital high resolution camera and I went back in that they were going to pay me less because it's digital now. And I said, "Are you joking?
No.
Just because I don't go to the lab anymore, it costs me more time post production to sit down and take that file and get it ready for you." And I said, "And it doesn't stop my day rate.
Yeah.
So why are you, when we went digital, and then the cell phone, story. So
Oh, yeah.
let's go down the list here. Have you spent time in the darkroom?
Last time I was in a dark room, maybe it was before the pandemic. So you're looking at like a little over 2 years ago, something like that. Yeah, about 2 years.
And
ago.
were you printing your whole life, black and white?
Oh, no. I was actually the last time I was in a printing thing, I would have to say was actually at Fuji. I was at the Fuji headquarters up in Orange County, and
Was that Cibachrome?
it was because I was talking to them about the what's that paper that like costs so much money? What's that? Peter Lick uses it.
Well, Cibachrome was the paper forever everyone was using. They mask it in the.
No, this is current.
Oh yeah, right. That super duper paper that was.
Something like that. Because they were using my work to showcase their brand new papers that they had coming out in 2019, I think it was 2019. So it was just before the pandemic, maybe even 18, I forget. So I went into the printing section over at the Fuji headquarters, and it was beautiful. I mean, the papers they had, and it was really, 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 really nice. So yeah, that was about the last time. But a true dark room where you're hanging prints up on like a clothesline, that's been like a long time.
But did you grow up in the darkroom? Did you actually did you used to print black and white as a kid?
No.
Oh, okay.
I took a photography class in high school, and I had to leave because I couldn't afford a camera. So I took painting, and there was a one time where I was really in a dark room. And then jump forward to 95 and up until about 90, I guess between there, I would jump in and out of the dark room until digital hit. And then when digital hit, it was just like, wow, like a big flood.
Was it this Crystal Archive Supreme paper?
No. It was, I can't believe I forgot. Let me find it. Because I did like their work. Well, my work was their whole new line of paper because they were showing their new metal. It looks like metal because people were
Right.
But it's paper. And it was I forget the name, but they had all these cool names. There were, I think, a total of 4 or 5 new papers they had.
Have you ever seen the process that they do metal prints?
That's the paper.
Fujiflex, okay.
It's
And it's
almost
super
like,
expensive.
yeah,
right.
It's like $1,000 for like a piece like this big. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Amazing.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Amazing. So tell us about your favorite historian, photographer, history or herstory. Who's your favorite elder photographer? I read once.
Well, my favorite of all, I would have to say, is Cameron.
Juliet.
Yeah, she's like I remember there was a piece of hers that went on like auction, and it was $100 and some thousand. And I'm like, man, I should sell my car. I should do because I wanted it that bad. She's just like her work it's not just her work, it's who the person is. How, because back then, photographers, you didn't know what you were getting. You truly had to have it in you and you had to go slow. You had to just really, truly understand your subject, what you're getting, and then your little camera, but you're not going to see, and hope you got the exposure right. So it was a whole different thing that I guess like an appreciation of her art. And I'm sure there, well, like I know for a fact there are many out there, but I love the series that she did, and it's it just touched me in a way. And then
Was
you
it a
have-
portrait? Was it a portrait series or a portrait photography?
It's like all she does. You know, like her portraits are just, you know, fantastic. And for that time period as well, it's like a lot of mood and yeah.
So here we go. Here we go. I'm sharing screen with you, everybody. Here's Juliet's work.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. And then there's another, I forget his name. I can't believe I forgot it. It's around the same time period, you know, late 1800s. And he has this one piece called The Golden Ladies. And I totally forgot the name, but I'll send it to you one day, you know, when I find it. But I just
You know who was one? You know who was one of my favorite photographers? I'll show you right here. This guy,
oh, very,
Lartigue. Lartigue. And the key to Henry Jacques Lartigue photography, this was my favorite photographer of all times. The key to all of his photographs is that he did it when he was 12 years old and he was low to the ground. So all of his photographs were very low. And this is one of his most famous photographs, this one right here.
yeah,
And this one also, this one was one of it. Look at that.
super cool.
He was the most playful photographer in the history. I mean, come on. I mean, look at what Lartigue did. Look, when he's photographing women, I mean, can you imagine if that's a Vogue shoot? Look at that. I mean, and how about that one? A Vogue shoot? You know, or that one, you know, just amazing. I love Lartigue's whimsical aspects, sort of like Salvador Dali, you know.
Over there, yeah. And they always use extra fast shutter. And depending on, like, always pay attention to that, like this style of the photographer. You know, like Julia was more lower, and his are, you know, you can tell, you know, small aperture, firing at like, you know, 500 to like 1,000.
Look, we all know this photograph. I mean, not we don't know this photograph, but look at that. Look at that moment in time. Cartier-Bresson said, "The precise moment." Photography.
Yeah.
Do you have a one-liner?
Do you have a one-liner?
Yeah, that you say. What's one of your quotes about your work? You know.
Well, this one guy, it was really cool. He coined it, I guess, back in 2000, 2001. He says, "Your work is the freshest kind of raw." And I'm like, ooh, that's kind of cool. Because it's raw, but it's still, there's a clean edge to it. And I'm like, ooh, that's kind of cool.
So when I say film is food, we could go to your raw kitchen and hang out with Giuliano. Remember Giuliano?
Of course, of course. And there's another photographer I love. His name is Fan Ho. Amazing.
Okay.
Amazing.
Okay.
Amazing, amazing, amazing.
And yeah, keep going. Fan Ho, what is his subject matter? What's his subject matter?
Oh, just look him up. It's beautiful.
Okay.
He's like the streets. Very, 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 very good.
Tell us a little bit about. I'm going off my list here. Tell us a little bit about your synchronistic project that aligns with my project in the prisons. You know, I do the lifers for cannabis project with Tommy, Tommy Chung, and nonviolent prisoners. Tell us about how that came about and a little bit about your experience over the days of shooting in the prison.
Okay. Well, the way it came about is I have a lot of collectors in Japan who buy my tattoo work. You know, big collectors out there. And so I was thinking, where's someplace I could shoot no one could duplicate or copy? So, a prison, because they have, you know, like it's super hard to get in there. So it took me 4 years to get permission to shoot inside of the prison, getting denied over and over and over and over again. But I know I'm very persistent. And just so happened, one of my good friends, Dennis Martinez, he speaks at a lot of the prisons. So he helped me, you know, maneuver that, and then, you know, it happened. So when I went in there, it was interesting because you see all these guys and everything, you know, looking tough. And I had free reign to shoot anywhere on the yard, you know, anywhere, you know. So I'm shooting. First guy I see, they all knew I was there to shoot. I said, hey, you know, can I take your photo? And he's like, sure, hold on a second. He was fully blasted with tattoos everywhere. He goes, he puts on a sweatshirt. And I was like, And I said, why did you like put on a shirt? He's all,
You were digging his ink.
yeah. And then he said, this is my past. And I'm just looking forward. And the only tattoo you can see is here. It's called Faith. And it's actually in the image, what you put in the little flyer. It's of the guy in the sweatshirt. And then that made me change my whole direction in what I wanted to do with this series. Because I went there to take from them. And then I said, I can't be that person. So I decided to use this to do a whole lot of good with. So it's currently on display at the, that one to the right.
This one right here.
Yeah. And you see Faith under his thing. So I speak at schools like all over the world, from colleges like they study my work. And then we did this one benefit for the prisoners to help out, and the money that was raised and all that, just more so to educate like the people, because like sometimes, of course, there's criminals, people do bad stuff or whatever. But a lot of these people went in when they were 17, 18. Like, what do you know at that age? Like, from their environment to, you don't know what they went through. And
Right.
First, you get like 25 years for selling some weed or, something crazy like that. That just isn't fair. I don't believe that's fair. So
Well, it resonates so much with, with where I've been with my project also, because I've been
The
in
420
and women for
POW.
30 years for pot,
yeah,
for a plant. The hardened criminals, I'm not saying, any boohoo or this versus that. Prison is not a very nice, hangout, but some people
Yeah.
live there, some people live there.
yeah. And when I was there, because I get so immersed in whatever I'm shooting that I was sitting with them. We're just hanging out because I wanted to disappear within them, so they didn't know I was there shooting. So when I'm shooting the groups, I'm shooting them on skateboards, which we were actually allowed to bring in the first time ever. I was able to shoot them, and because I had the monochrome, very, very low camera, no one really paid attention to me. So it was like I wasn't there taking pictures. So it was a beautiful thing compared to a big old camera or whatever.
My brother, we just lost from the UNLV school. He taught flow and magic, and he had books on flow.
Very cool.
Books on flow and magic. So I'm dedicating for Todd, my buddy Todd, rest in peace, Todd, the rest of my life to flow and magic and to feel it, to know it, and to be it.
Awesome.
We'll jump right on this one. You already had time for this one, and I think you even told me on the phone. Desert Island album.
Desert Island album?
Yeah, what album would you take on a desert island? You
Oh,
could only take
oh,
one.
Desert Island
Yeah.
album. Okay,
Yeah.
that's right. I did tell you that already. Just one. There's a few, but I believe it would. Since we last talked, maybe there's a couple that changed. But I love just music, and I love orchestras and things like that. So, like Percy Faith, you know, like something like that. He's one of my favorites.
Wait, was Percy Faith, see if I'm good or if I'm bad. Was that When a Man Loves a Woman?
No, Percy Faith. He remember the song called Theme from a Summer Place?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, like he was a big band, like orchestra leader back in like the 50s.
Right.
So it's like a calming thing. So that's like, I forget the name of the album, but anything by Percy Faith would like be very, very, very cool and calming. So, you know, his album Theme from a Summer Place, for sure.
If you could only have one album, mine is Inner Vision, Stevie Wonder.
That's a
Mine's
good one.
Inner Vision. 73, Golden Lady, Living for the City, Higher Ground. Pretty amazing. Yeah.
And then
I judge, yeah.
Yeah, like I love piano as well. So that's another thing that
You mean Oscar Peterson or Thelonious?
they're the top. They're like right.
Oscar and Thelonious. Oh, meet Thelonious. This is Thelonious right here. That's Thelonious.
Yeah, they're like, come on, you can't get any better than that.
Right.
So, like, so for me, it isn't so much like lyrical. It's more the music. It's more the vibration. It's more the tones. You know, not a voice. Except the voices I do like are like Karen Carpenter, you know, like Aretha Franklin, you know, like Mavis Staples, you know, with real voices.
I just saw Mavis do a anniversary for Prince, and she pulled out the plug for Purple Rain.
I've been wanting to shoot her forever. She was a huge influence on my life as a kid from her music. You know, because we used to always go to the drive-in when we were little kids, and like A Piece of the Action, you know, those songs like stayed with you. They had the best soundtracks, you know, because Curtis Mayfield, he basically produced everybody back then.
Right.
So we had everyone in that style, you know, it was real cool. So yeah, and that's another guy too, Curtis Mayfield, some of his stuff. So yeah, so it would be hard for one album, but it would be easy for a selection of maybe 25 songs.
And is music the soundtrack to your life? I mean, do you have your ear pads, and does it float you? Does it keep you going when you're traveling?
It does, because I've worked in the music industry since 1992. You know, I still do. I do a lot in the music world, separate from photography. And it's always like it's interesting because there's been songs, not so much songs, but music I wanted to work with. And then literally 5, 10 years later, someone is working with that song. I said, oh man, I should have jumped on it. It's happened a few times. You know,
Right.
when people were sampling and people were doing this and that or whatever. And I was like, man, I should do this, but I just never had, first of all, the money to get the equipment to create. You know, so I could hear it in my ear, but I couldn't like put it down on anything because no one had money for instruments when we were young. You know, I couldn't even afford a camera.
Right. I'm friends with Mark Mothersbaugh, and he's one of the Devo brothers, and he does children's music now
Hmm.
for Saturday morning, you know, cartoons and things like that, and for movies, you know, he does children's music, but they blazed a trail and had a purpose, and they were like the soundtrack for my living in LA, you know.
Yeah, of course.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, Beat It, The Girl You Want, you know, and so it's amazing how your Band on the Run still is in your head, you know.
Yeah, I remember that song, of course.
You know, and the one hit wonders, you know, Christopher Cross or Meatloaf, you know, you know, but excellent. And who else? Peter Frampton.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, they all
Yeah,
got us
that's
through
right.
something.
Yeah, my mom had tons and tons and tons of albums, so we listened to everything.
Yeah, when I was hanging out and being the designated driver for my friends that were exploring heroin, you know, they told me that if it weren't for Lou Reed, they'd still be, you know, sick, and that was their, you know, their reason for coming home, you know, is
Yeah.
Lou Reed,
Wow.
you know. Lou
I
Reed
remember
helped them.
that- What's that song he did? Lou Reed, he did, remember that moped called the Spree?
A spree ride,
Yeah. Well, they used one of his songs for a commercial long time ago. Like Grace Jones you used to do the commercials, and then they
Well, of
did
course.
another one with his song, and it's resonates with me to this day because it was just that I forget the name of the song, but mellow, calm, but they just used the music.
Well, he did also one of the most famous songs in the history of songs, and the Color Girls went do to do, take a
That's
walk
the
on the
song.
wild side. That's the song.
That's the song. And that's the one on that moped.
And that bass line at the beginning, boom, boom, boom. You know, that was an amazing. Yeah. Well, I love music. I love being with Pep Williams today. An incredible, extraordinary photographer. Goes all over the world, everybody, and is working with. Oh, here I've got one more goodie here on my.
Let me look. That looks special. I like.
And look, I even have the original thing that grabs all your hair on your neck strap, the snake strap that grabs all your hair.
Not see those anymore. Wow. Yeah, that's cool, man.
Isn't that a beauty?
Yeah, nothing like them.
And I got I mean, even this is metal, and even this is
Everything.
it snaps in like, you know, like a good, you know, a good relationship. You know? But and it feels so good. It feels so good in the hand, you know. When I had my Leica Enlarger and I shot with this, the combination of the prints that came out, you know, when I was in the darkroom, were just so soft and so black and white beautiful. You know,
Yeah.
I always shot FP4. I went from Tri-X to FP4 to HP5, and I just really enjoyed my learning to, you know, to do the street photography. You know, I really enjoyed that. And then this came my way just recently, and that puts my Hazy lens on my Canon,
It's very cool, man. Yeah.
And so that adapter puts the big old Hazy 120 on my Canon, and I'm just enjoying it. I'm like a kid in the candy shop again with it. And I'm looking forward to meeting you live in person, maybe
Oh,
even following you to. Yeah, it'd be great. It would be great to shoot together.
Yeah.
I got a question for you here. Tell us a little bit. We'll be wrapping up soon, but tell us a little bit about the new generation of collectors.
The new generation of collectors. Well, it's
Yeah.
interesting because, of course, there's NFTs and all that type of stuff. I think it's more, they're collecting more of what's considered cool. And there's a very small group of people that can actually look at a piece of art and like get immersed in it and understand it or read it. It's more like, wait, let me see what someone else is saying online about it. Or let me see if this is cool. Or let me see if this is that. Because it's so easy to do that. Instead of going to like an art gallery and like, wow, look at this thing. This is amazing. Oh, let me look at it online. Okay, cool, let me buy it. Click. Without even going to see it. Because I deal with like a lot of kids, from talking to schools to this, that, or whatever, and it's all the same thing. It's too easy to look it up, get other people's opinions on that piece without even having to experience it.
And you were saying the collectors are the high tech people with that's where the money is?
I would say
The industry, the industry?
No, you said for like the youngsters now, like what's coming up in the future. But right now, as far as collectors, it's good. Like you just have to really know your collector, truly know your demographic and who's interested in your work, and know what's in their collection as well. And then that's as simple as going to shows, going to galleries, inviting them to yours, getting to know them, getting to know their friends who collect, and blah 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 blah.
And what's the hit on Europe? What's the trend in Europe or the demographic landscape? Is there more photography happening in Europe in the art galleries?
I think in Europe, yes. Germany for sure. I believe there's some of the bigger photography raised in the culture of arts and paintings to photography for this, where literally, like in America, it's here, but everyone was just so thrown into it at once over the past, like maybe 7 to 10 years, compared to over in Europe and other places where you're kind of born into it because their grandparents, great grandparents, but it's just like you're walking around the house, you're seeing art. You're seeing this compared to here. It's like, okay, we have a poster of like Fonzie on the wall, or we have a poster of. It's not really so much the art, or like back in the '70s, I remember the art we had was clowns and owls. It's different. You can find those at like any, like not even pawn shop, but those secondhand stores. And it's like '70s art, what every household had in America. But
And velvet.
and velvet, and those Elvis paintings or whatever, paint on velvet. But it's like different, and I think that's why the bulk of my collectors are actually from overseas. Not saying all of America, but most of America, they're newer. Because there's a bunch of kids now taking pictures. I'm a photographer now. I'm a this, I'm this, I'm a that. And then I don't say anything because, hey, a person's art is a person's art. And no one has a right to say, well, you need to do this or you need to do that. No, a person's art is their art. And I remember once.
It's personal.
It's personal. There's some pretty famous photographers. I approached, they're my friends. I said, hey, We should do a show with everyone, from young kids to us to this to that, but don't put names on it and see what sells. They all declined. I said, of course. There's so much talent out there right now. It was crazy. I just wanted to see. But it's because it's almost like a kid who's doing sports. You've already like you've seen, like, for instance, basketball. Think of like I'm a basketball player born in the 60s, learning from basketball players from the 50s. You're going to play a certain kind of way compared to basketball players now, learning from, Kobe and Shaq. You're good. It's the same as photography. They've learned from us. So now it's easier almost in their minds, so when they're just copying and doing this, it's so much of it, it gets overwhelming sometimes. And then they get bummed out because they can't kind of break into that world of where people are buying their work. And then that's when you have to truly shut off the photography for a minute and go into business mode. And then you start to get to know the collectors. You start to get to know the sponsors because it's a business. It isn't like before. And I remember I was trying to shoot for Gap years ago, and my friends, they don't work with anyone else. The guy has to retire, then you can shoot for them. I was like, wow. They keep the same photographer forever. And this was back in
Right.
Yeah.
So everybody, it's Jeff Eichen here with the Legacy Show. We're rolling along here, and I'm going to navigate coming back on with our people here and getting out of. Here we go, and see if I can do this a little bit quicker. Here we are. Beth, tell us a little bit about how you're feeling tonight.
I mean, it's super cool. I see the direction you're going with this, with the replay. And it's really neat. It's really cool, man.
It's kind of cool, yeah. When we did our first episode, and you helped me, inspired me to, to make the Legends of Photography and begin it with you. I'm calling you a legend, dude.
Thank you.
An OG. And so, yes, and so when I started it, I was really just visualizing or coming back to my roots. I've been all over the place, as most humans are, doing my prison project, doing my art, doing this and that, and then when Jerry Oldman passed about a month ago, and I contacted his wife and getting ready to do something with her, I said, darn, I forgot to get Jerry Oldman a darkroom rat, And so it's just a pleasure to start to this project, and I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
And does anybody in the gallery, Lillian, or Christina or Tyrone, how are you doing? How's this hanging? Would you like to carry on or hold off and we'll do version 2 next week? What would you like, you guys? How's everybody's time?
Let me do my mic. Where's my mic at?
There you are. Hip hop.
We're doing great. Great show. A lot of really good content, and just enjoying the show. Yeah, we're hanging in there.
Okay.
And a lot of
Just a
interesting
relaxed-
things, learning from you guys, learning the history of photography and the changes, a lot of changes in the styles and the cameras, and now it seems like it's overwhelming, but you guys are definitely both artists, and respectfully so.
How about Lillian? How you hanging? Unmute yourself, Lil. Unmute yourself, Lillian.
Mm-hmm.
Can you get to the unmute button, Lillian? It's a stand-up comedy thing. They
Yeah,
always
yeah.
do that.
Sorry. Yeah, can you hear me?
Hey, Lillian. Yeah, come on in, Lillian. Come on in.
I
We're all-
thought it was a great show. It was very in-depth, very interesting. Lots of different perspectives and stories and stuff. And I loved it when you guys were getting technical about this, the toys that I call them toys, but obviously the cameras and all lenses. And like if I, like what I do, if you get me into a conversation with somebody, it's going to be deep. You know what I'm saying? Because you really love what you do. So I thought that was really cool to see you guys go back and forth about talking about the lenses and all this different equipment. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, no. So Pep, are you in for the last quarter? Can we play more?
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
I'm here. I'm a trooper.
Well, here we are, everybody, on the Legacy Show, my first in the series, and my first replay where we're getting to be able to figure out how to get back into the green room and have a green room and some support and some beautiful humans that respect and honor all forms of art. When Christina said, I'm not an artist, and Pep and I said, wait a minute.
Been an artist.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You're
Making
a
your
master
makeup.
artist.
Making your makeup or dinner. It's all art.
Oh, she does a lot, but I let her tell her when she's ready.
When you're ready. Lillian, we honor and respect you and love our walk on the planet and bumping into people. I mean, I bumped into Pep online, in some focus gallery room on Twitter or whatever, and now we're buddies, and hopefully we'll be able to do a project or two together and shoot. I'd love to go to Africa or come to London and maybe do a little expose on your trip to your next show. It'd be really great. So everybody, we're gonna go September. Okay.
September.
So give me some dates and let's talk about that offline. And here we go. Back to the show, everybody. It's kind of like, what was it? The Sammy Davis show, the Red Skelton show, any of the shows. Back to our show. Da 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 da.
You get that fake clapping,
Yeah. Oh wait. I do have.
Oh no.
Let's see. Yeah. I've got totally the clap here.
I think we need some Three's Company theme music. That'd be awesome.
Oh yeah. We've got.
There it
So
is.
here we go. Here we go, Pod TV, and we got our clap in there, and our clapper, and some more of our show. Let's see how much more time we got. We've got a little bit of time. We've got about 20 more minutes here.
Oh,
Yeah,
like,
we're-
come on.
Tell us a little bit about your advice to the elders and the newbies about your longevity. What, diet, mind, sleep. How many hours sleep do you get a night? I mean, what's the deal for longevity of?
It's just you have to get out, because I shoot when I'm inspired. I'm not inspired here at all. I have to get out. Like I'm at my house. People just take their camera everywhere. I'll leave that thing at home. There's nothing here that makes me want to pick it up, because I've done it and there's nothing really new. Of course, I can go to Venice Beach, find something new all the time, but it isn't inspiring as much compared to when I'm in London. Constant inspiration. When I'm out in Greece, always something it just exudes art. The energy.
Well, you were saying that earlier about when you were a child. Feed me more information, more beauty.
And for instance, even in the desert, I love it. I love. It's just something.
Beautiful light.
It's like different, and like for me, I have a thing of shooting stuff, not so much that have been done before, but shooting things. Because for instance, like you shoot the Eiffel Tower, everyone's done that, but shooting it in a way that's different or like it's hard to duplicate. That's what gets me going. Like I just did a series for Telemundo. My friend, she gave half of her liver. I'm actually going to post that day after tomorrow. She gave half of her liver to someone she didn't even know, and she wanted me to shoot it. I said, of course. So I shot it in beautiful images. She has a big scar and everything, and it was on TV like 2 days ago. And that's like, all right, let's go, let's do it. That's cool. It'll be hard to duplicate that, and it just made me all right, I'm going. So like for me, the best advice I could say is stay like inspired. Some people don't need to go everywhere. Some people can be inspired by going to the park. Some people can, it doesn't matter going in your backyard. It doesn't matter. But for me personally, I have to like get out, and I have to be around something completely different. And then it comes out. It's like for instance, now this has been my 7th year. I've been trying to photograph the Pope. And I've gotten so far as to reaching the person that works with him. And he's only available on Wednesdays. And I just said, I just need 2 minutes, 1 minute. And then my friend's he's not even available for a second. But let's see what happens. So when you're in Rome, let me know. I said, okay, so cool. So like I said, I'm very persistent. I don't stop. If you say no, okay. I keep asking. Because this person might get fired, or maybe this person is having a bad day, and then there's someone else. So you never know who you're actually like talking to. So that's why I never stop.
I have 2 more questions for you, and we're done. Everybody, we're on the Legacy Show. It's Jeff Eichen. I'm coming back to my roots. I'm really excited to talk photography and shop all day. We're not talking f-stop, but I did pull out the Polaroid back, and it's a little square Polaroid back. I'm not going to take the slider out because I still have a Hasselblad, and there's old film in there. It might be good, I'll try it one day. But I'm blessed to begin traversing and coming into my dream is photography. I've been doing it since I was 13, and I'm blessed to be around the masters myself in my life. And we're all masters, everybody. Just go out and do it. And just go out and do it. Yeah, just go out and do it. So we're with Legacy, and we've got Pep here. 2 last questions, and we'll be done. Hasselblad and Leica, is there a versus, or yay and nay? Tell us your experience with them. Yeah, give us, be candid here. We're late night.
Yeah, Leica. I love Leica. Cameras are cool. What I love about Leica is actually the people, because Leica is the one camera company that has like a community. And so, I've been to Wetzlar, I've done many projects with them. And it doesn't matter where I go in the country or the world for that matter. Oh, there's my friends in Paris. They're like a people. There's like a family, there's a union. And it doesn't matter. It's just really, really cool. But on the other hand, when it comes to Hasselblad to me is like the pinnacle. It's if I were to do it, I'd go Hasselblad phase 1 Leica. That's how I do. The Hasselblad and phase 1 are pretty much like the same. When I shoot with a Leica, it's very fun. It's very easy. It's very cool. That's why so many, young kids have it. You're just running around, you're doing your stuff. It's like quick, sharp, easy. House of Blood, strictly professional. It's just that, oh wow, this guy is like he's serious about it. And for me, when I shoot House of Blood, it's the depth it has. And I'm not talking about depth of field. You could shoot it at f/22 and it still has something to it. The color science is unparalleled. It's just, no one's touching that. And it's just different from a medium format. It just really is. But I love them both. Each camera has like a purpose. I shoot mostly Hasselblad, Leica, and Canon. But the best camera out right now, in my opinion, is the Nikon, like the Z9. It's a beast. Geez, that.
What about the Olympus? Olympus just came out with a winner, the OM1.
That
I heard.
But
I've got a couple friends who just got them in the mail like 2 weeks ago, and they're popping some really. I love my Zuiko glass, and it's a beauty.
yeah, the Nikon just covers every base. There's not one base it doesn't move.
The Z9.
22 frames a second, please. That's a movie. That's like film and video in RAW.
Right.
Unheard of. So
With a buffer.
yeah, and the tracking is, come on, it's Nikon. But at the same time, I'm not that photographer that go, like I forget some big fashion photographer. He's not to talk about him. That's his art. That's his thing. But he's like, it's like, how can you miss? Come on, and I don't want to look at 1,000 pictures. I'm very specific. So when I shoot with a Leica, I'm very, calm. When I'm shooting with a Hasselblad, I'm even more calm. I'm more specific because, like I said, with the Leica, it's fun. Let's go. Hasselblad, it just changes your mind. It's like driving a car. Like
Right.
if you have like a Toyota, if you have a Hyundai, you're gonna drive it a certain kind of way. You have a Ferrari, you have a Rolls Royce, you're gonna drive it a certain kind of way. But you're still going to the same place. It's just how you're gonna get there. And yeah, it's like all the cameras are good, but for me, it's when I print. That's what decides for me. Because I print huge. Really, I have like some 4-foot pieces back there, and those are shot on like Canon, like basic. But when I print with Hasselblad, it's like you can walk through the image. It is perfect. And actually,
Super 3D.
it's so good. And people say, oh, well, until you use it and compare it, then come back. Like
Well, those of us from the old days took Quaker Oats boxes, put paper in there, and a brass lens,
Yep.
and opened it up, and we taught class with that, and printed the print from a 3-second exposure, and then of a portrait, went in the darkroom, printed the print, and then turned the lights on after it was fixed, washed it, and then put it on another piece of paper because it only shoots negative. And then we would turn the light on in the darkroom and go right through that. But that proved also that sometimes it's not about the quality of the glass, it's about the content.
Yeah.
It's about the heart that's in that image and that frame you choose to share with.
Yeah, my thing is just depth and printing large. Because I love noise as well in some of my prints, depending on what it is.
Tri-X.
Like clarity and just the detail. Like a phase 1, I shot with like a few years ago. It's amazing beyond 150
Right.
or something like that. But it's just too heavy. It's almost like shooting with the Leica S like I took the Leica S to Paris, and flawless, beautiful, but oh my.
That was the photograph that I had of you in that promotional shot, the Leica S with the battery pack, extra battery pack.
Oh no, that's CSL.
Oh, okay, that's the
Yeah,
that's the old
the
day.
Leica S is the medium format. It's like way bigger. And I took it to Paris because I talked to Leica about, hey, let me take it on the street and show that you can do this in the street. I was wrong. You can, but you get it's heavy and that lens. Oh my goodness, perfect for like the studio shoots, immaculately. But
Well,
I
like the
needed-
old Hasselblad, I mean, that's a beast too. Yeah.
yeah, I needed
Oh yeah.
the sensor with the Hasselblad science behind it and everything, and it just
Show us that baby. Show us that baby. Show us that baby. Everybody see that baby. Show us the Hasselblad there.
Yeah, this is the X1D2. You know, it's super cool.
Mhm.
The sensor is just insane. You know, it's really, really big. Super size. So that's why I actually decided to go for it. And I don't care. It just nothing compares to medium format. It's just
That's a Prince song. Nothing compares to you.
he was a
So,
good dude.
my last question is coming up, but I want to share a print with you that I made, just to share because I haven't pulled out anything yet. This is my drum teacher in Oakland, California. He said, Jeffrey, you make the best portraits. I said, go in your back room and pose for me, man.
That's awesome. Look at that. That's really, really neat. That's cool, man. You should make it bigger.
Well, I'm going to learn from you and hopefully, you know, maybe do a project with you and have the opportunity to play there. You know, I don't claim anything, you know, on live TV. I am totally blessed to be
This
in
is
your
one of
space
my,
and to learn from you and
one of
to
my
share
favorites.
and to do some projects together. You know, let's think make a project.
Let me show you something too. 1 second.
Okay. Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah, we can see it now. Oh man.
Yeah.
Simply a beauty. Is that daylight, window light?
Yeah, it was interesting because my legs are under the bed when I shot it. Like the baby was crying, like a lot. And I said, how do you make him go to bed? Oh, 1 second. Yeah, the baby was crying. So I asked, how do you normally make him go to bed? And then he said, well, I just take him in the bed and I talk to him, you know, calm him down. I said, do it. I'm not here. So I crawled behind the bed, put my legs under the bed, and just waited.
What were the numbers on his chin? Are those the numbers for
818.
his prison?
A1.
Oh, 8. Oh, you mean that was the valley?
About it. He was a big dude out there.
The valley.
Yeah.
Was he an ex POW? Was he a prisoner of war?
He's been in a few times. Yeah,
That was a beautiful shot with him and the baby. That was beautiful.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites because I knew what I could get. Because the kid was just born. So, and like I knew how he was. So I said, all right, let me do this. And because I saw it before I shot it. And this why it was so easy. It was super duper easy for me to do this. And it was in a bunch of magazines or whatever. And it's in not a lot, but several tattoo shops in Japan and Europe.
When you photograph somebody, do you take a notepad with you and get sign releases? Or do you do that later? Do you do that later if that shot's going to go into a print?
No. What I do is I just pay them. It's more because these people are my friends. I rarely shoot people who I don't know, from a celebrity to whatever, because I got to the point where I don't have to chase like a check, or you gotta do this, please. many companies hire me to shoot and I just decline and I give it to a friend because either I don't like the person or the energy isn't there. Like for instance, this one company, it was so crazy. Huge budget, huge, a lot of money, things like 30, 40 grand. And they're doing kind of some gangster stuff, but kind of bubblegumish. And they wanted to put pink glitter tears on the person. And I said, no, I won't do that. I said, I'll give it to a friend who can do it. People don't really know what that means. I do in my world, and I'm sure you do as well. And I declined. I said, I'm not going to do no corny stuff. Money would have been nice, of course, but I said no, because my work comes first.
So you're talking about longevity in the industry and franchising, that you are in charge of you and you can
100%.
shoot whatever you want. Yeah, you can shoot whatever,
It's a lot of sacrifice. It's a lot of things like that. But for me, I gave myself 3 goals and I reached them because I quit chasing jobs in 2008. And I said, all right, I want to be in museums, I want to have my work studied by kids, learned and all that stuff. And I want to have my work to be appreciated hundreds of years from now. I was already getting into museums. I said, this was easy. I said, why didn't I just do this? You just have to do it. And even the prison work I have, it's in a permanent exhibit at the Archery up in LA, but it's been shown all over the world. And my work is being actually studied at a lot of the UC schools and at the Art Institute, that super big one up in Pasadena, the most famous one. They study my work. So I've accomplished it. So I just said, man. So I did that here.
the Berkeley School of Music.
Yeah, something like that. So my friend, well, she's a teacher. There's like 2 people who I know that teach there. And I was like, oh, it's an art center, College of Design. That's
Yeah,
like
the Art Center.
like a pinnacle. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been around forever. That's where my dad went to school, actually. Oh, here's a photograph of my dad. Here, check my pops out.
Good stuff.
Oh, Noah Gibson. So it's really beautiful to hang with you. Final question.
Yeah, man.
Bucket list.
As in,
Something you've never done that you wanted to do. That's on your bucket list before you leave the planet.
this might sound crazy, but I've never had a bucket list because anything I really wanted to pursue, go or do, I just went for it. And as far as places, I've toured everywhere, I've done everything. I think if I were to have a bucket list, it would be just to hang with my friends more and to see, like family members more. And, but as far as places, things, it's really never been a thing because I was, since 16, I've been touring. So pretty much been everywhere.
So that's your dream. That's your dream list. That to roll into more family.
Yeah, just to hang out, see them more often, and that's pretty much it.
Well, that's
very cool.
That's awesome. So about your skateboarding, tell us your legacy, your skateboard legacy. Yeah, we didn't even go there.
Skating. I started skating in '75. And it was just something I did. I didn't even know people actually did it until I was 11 when I met my first friend who actually rode a board. I never knew. And because my mom always called it like a toy, like on my big wheel or something like that. Like, oh, that's just a toy. I said, okay, cool. But then I met this dude, John Conti is his name. So there I am on
Oh.
a few covers and stuff.
Wait, I'm gonna save that photograph here so I can put it on our end trailer because that is amazing. Well, everybody, we're talking to a legend in the skateboard world and a photographer. And tell us about your music. Did you do some hip hop?
Well, back in 1992, I worked with the A&R department over at Death Row Records, Interscope. And so then from there, I went into managing bands from System of a Down to bunch of members from System of a Down, and then a lot of artists working with Suicidal Tendencies, touring with them constantly around the world, doing stuff with a lot of groups, like a lot of bands. And then that's where I learned that where photography can take you around the world. And then that's when I said, this is cooler, because what I learned is like people were buying my work, as a collector, or if I had a job or something like that. But now I could get to Paris or London or Berlin or Sydney easy. I'd be like, oh, I'm like coming into town. Oh, really? Well, we need to do this. So I would use the touring to shoot for all these brands. And then I would just come back at night to shoot the show for 45 minutes. But in the day, I was everywhere. I'd be like, all right, you guys, I'll see you guys tonight. And I'm going. And I'm in a whole different mindset of like doing work and business. Then like the next day, like I remember when we would tour Europe, we toured basically from Russia all the way to the UK, and then back down to like Spain, and then to Italy. So this would be basically one tour that would be about maybe three weeks. So I'm shooting at all these places, and getting my name out there more, meeting with people instead of sending emails. So I use that to my benefit. But if you're a photographer and if you're shooting with a band or with bands, you can travel so easy if they're on tour, and everybody needs content. So it's unlimited.
Well, I know that I bless the time that we've had today. It was fun hanging out with you. We're going to do it in person soon. I'll be down in SoCal without a doubt, and come look you up. And let's get into some trouble. I really appreciate your legacy and people finding out a little bit of behind the scenes with Pep Williams today. Pep, any final words?
Just don't give up your art. Just continue and don't stop, because there's a whole lot of people that will convince you to stop because they stopped. And it's really hard to find that group of people that will encourage you. And if they aren't encouraging you, then I would suggest, hang out with them, but don't really let them interfere with your path, with what you're doing.
Stay strong, everybody. Make art, not war. And we're with Pep Williams today. It's been a really fun time. And I'll let you go. I'm gonna roll out with our outro. And yeah. Wait. Here we go. 1, 2. Buckle my shoelace.
Good stuff.
I think there's just there's something else at the end here. But here we go, hello everybody, and welcome to the Legacy Show on POD TV and Roku. Jeff Eichen, spoken word, and sometimes we go live, and maybe even as we speak. We are streaming live, everybody. Welcome artists from all around the world, especially photographers, in this series that we're focusing on, Haha. This is where photographers have an opportunity to tell their legacy and share from the inside on how they began their career and what keeps them going. What is their food for longevity? Welcome to the Legacy Show with your host, Jeff Eichen, and today, Sir Pep Williams, a world-renowned artist, global street photographer, and photojournalist. Folks, my teacher, Bernard Freemesser, at the University of Oregon, always, he spoke these three words: feel the light. Folks, what is your legacy? So tune in this Saturday at 7 p.m. Pacific time for a sit down and a replay of the edited version.
Just finishing my show, then I'll be free.
Time with Pep Williams, the extraordinary photographer, global, and journalist. And listen to us and come on our Zoom chat if you want to be in the green room.
Good
Cool,
stuff.
everybody. So
Thank
I'm
you.
going to bring us back on here and get rid of our, see if I can do this properly. Yeah, we're coming on in a second here.
Hey, everybody, it's me, Jeff Eichen Live. This is us. This is how we roll.
And bring us back. We'll get this down by episode number 2. And well, it's been a great experience. There we go. We're back with Lil and Christina and Tyrone. You stayed with us the whole time.
Thank you
Kinda
guys
like-
so much. This is super cool.
Kind of like going to the movies, and sitting down and doing a live. We didn't have any popcorn, but maybe you did. And Pep, give us a rollout.
What's up?
Yeah, just tell us how it was to see your own self. Talk about your own.
It was super cool. Like I said earlier, like I see the direction you're going with it. I see how this can actually catch on, like 100%. As the more more people you get involved in interviews and things like that, it could be very popular. Very, very cool.
Well, thank you for your blessing and for your time. And any other photographers you have on a list, give them to me. And like I said, maybe we'll get Annie. Maybe we'll get some people that are still with us that are OGs, and then maybe
You
some
gotta
of the
get
newer
Tyrone.
photographers.
That's what we gotta get.
Oh, Tyrone, come on! We are going to do a legacy with Tyrone. Tyrone, what's your specialty? What's your specialty, Tyrone?
Well, I love art as to appreciate art, but I've always wanted to enter into photography. I do a little product design, but I've always wanted to get into photography.
Are you an inventor?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
With
more
your
of a
echo,
hobby.
you're a little bit hip hop there.
Yeah, I noticed. It's
What's
more
one of your favorite inventions that you've made? What's one of your favorites?
Well, it's more of a hobby that I do on the side. So yeah, some truck accessories, home accessories, just some things I'm working on currently.
To beautify or improve the quality of life. That's really what he likes to do.
Oh, fantastic. Do you design beautiful pillows for the living room?
No, I don't have a
I
pillow.
love a beautiful pillow. But he
A
likes
photo
to
pillow with a cup holder in the pillow.
Oh, that sounds good. Yeah.
Hey,
Oh, it's right there in the back of my head. I see a
a
pillow
cup
with a
holder on
purpose.
my pillow. Yeah, wait, here's my cup. Or one for the airplane, a fashionable airplane cup holder pillow.
Yeah.
I like that.
And Lily, how about you? Any final words?
This has been eye-opening, fabulous, fantastic. I loved it. I love the way you're interviewing. I love his answers. I just thought it was really dope, and it was entertaining all the way through. Good job.
Well,
Thank you.
I think I'm going to make a T-shirt called The Legends of Photography, Spontaneous.
I can probably help you with that. We do t-shirts.
Oh, nice. Yeah, let's do a fashion show. The first hemp clothing factory We made the first 1,000 yards in the last 2 months, and this is hemp that I'm wearing. We make these in my vest, and my hat is all hemp, and it's organic because the organic cotton industry, the cotton industry is not organic, and so we're making hemp now in America. So I'd love to design a hemp clothing line with you.
Okay, cool.
Never
That'd
know.
be cool.
So,
That'd be cool. Hemp is the future, and we have to get our hemp prisoners out of jail for nonviolence. Christina, unmute yourself and tell us any final words.
Oh boy. I know words.
Uh-oh.
Oh, wait, hold on.
That's the
You
reason.
got 2 mics on. Yeah, turn one mic off. Yeah, there you go.
One back up. You gotta turn my.
There you go.
Uh-oh. Turn on.
Uh-oh.
Since we have our phones side by side, because we wanted to, have our own individual camera time. No, go for it. Final words. What could possibly be the final words on something like this? It's a nice lesson. This is a beginning for you and a beginning for artists. It's going to be a nice platform. There's a lot to be learned because you guys are teachers, and we're definitely listening, and it's very inspirational at the same time. Don't give up on your dream. Hold on to what you really are, the essence of yourself. And like you mentioned about the book of For Agreement, and that, also what Lillian mentioned, that she believes you're born who you are. So all this comes together beautifully, and I think that it's a wonderful contribution. And for someone like us to listen to this, it's been honestly a pleasure. Thank
Inspiring.
you. Very inspiring.
Super cool.
I'm sure
Super cool.
everyone has a lot more to give, and it's just inspirational. It's great.
Awesome.
Well, we're all artists, as Pep says, and this is the forum. I mean, there's not a lot of art forums or specific in our slice of the pizza. The photographers. We've always, Pep. Do you agree? I don't know. I was born in 1958 and got to study with the Westons, and I met Ansel Adams as a child, and they were a handful of photographers that were eating off of their art. But the rest of the photographers in the art world never got their claim, and we were always kind of the low men or women on the totem pole in the art world. And I think that we're emerging from there. What's your take on that?
I think what it was is, like, for instance, Ansel, he was one of the few photographers actually out there doing it. So he was one of the first to go out to Yosemite, to go out to those places. So, wow, look at this crazy guy going out there shooting all out in the mountains. Compared to, like, in Hollywood, you had tons of headshot photographers shooting all the actors and everyone.
Irving Penn.
Yeah, but they're doing it more as like a job. They're getting it just like as a client, whereas Ansel was actually creating art. So that's the difference between.
So was God his client?
I think something he felt.
Spirit.
He just felt it, and he just instead of shooting someone, he just pointed it to nature.
Can I tell you a story about Ansel in the classroom? I mean, in Yosemite at the 10-day workshop I took when I was 17, he said, because Ansel was a concert pianist with the San Francisco Philharmonic, and he gave up going to play for them to move in with his wife and move to Yosemite and work for Sierra Club. Okay. And so he had a purpose with his photography also, but he said, you ready for this, everybody globally? Ansel Adams said when I was with him, he said to his class that the landscape is my score and my photograph is my symphony.
Yeah.
What? So Jeff Eichen here with the Legacy Show. Pep, final words. Hope.
Hope. actually hungry. You know, like I need to get food now. No.
Here we go. Here we go. My
Yeah.
battery just died on my phone. I'm ready to go. So Saturday night, everybody, we got Pep Williams. We got the crew here. Come on back anytime, everybody. Follow me, come to me. And everybody on this show, Lillian, Tyrone, and Christina. Lillian, can you put in the chat box your contact and I'll find you?
So, okay.
Why don't you do it right now? So it's before I close this down, and I'll take it off screen here. There we go. And I'd love to have you design a shirt for our legacy episode. That'd be fantastic.
Oh,
That'd be fantastic. So everybody, we're on the Legacy Show. You've already heard all my music and all my people. It's Saturday night. I'm going to let everybody go back into their world. And next Legacy episode, who knows who's going to be in the Legends of Photography?
Gonna be Tyrone.
Oh, Tyrone, yeah, baby. Okay. Yeah, whoever comes in my
He's
show
laughing now.
gets the first. You get the first step. You get the NFT, baby. And
Expose your product, baby.
Yeah.
Expose your product.
Absolutely.
Hey, thank you.
non-fungible token. So wait here. Does anybody know what that is?
No.
Looks like a snowball, but I know it's
Looks
not.
like paper? No?
Pilled orange.
That's hempcrete. They build homes out of this now, out of hemp. So why should anybody be in fucking jail for hemp that could heal the planet? This stuff is so strong and so beautiful. It'll make a wall and organic, and the R value is like 9, and the R value of concrete or any other kinds of wall are like 3. So everybody stay organic, don't panic, and we'll see you next time. Love you, everybody.
Awesome.
Have a great one.
Okay, peace out.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Love and light.
So I'm back, everybody. I'm back. I didn't even bring a hat. I'm always wearing a hat. So all my friends with the new old time Chautauqua, that was really good on the replay with Pep tonight. And I watched it from the other room on my laptop and spoke to one of my friends, Pat Vieira, about spirit tonight and children. How do we inspire the children? But now we have our legacies, and so I'm really blessed to come back to my roots of photography. I have a series of portraits that I've been sharing with the planet. Here's a picture that I did of Grandma Aggie. Grandma Aggie got in my car here in Port Townsend. She was from Oregon, the Native American tribe there, and she was here for a conference, a green conference, and that's her daughter, and that's the photograph I made of them. So she said, "I'm going to be 95, Jeffy, on my next birthday," and then she left the planet. And so take your photos before these beautiful souls leave the planet, and share your work with the world. I'm going to Seattle tomorrow for a book showing, and I'm going to meet my friends, my people, and maybe be able to show my books to people or to publishers. So do what you can this lifetime. Pep says, get to the city, Jeffrey, get to where the money is, and blah, blah, blah. It's not about the money, but it's about making the mileage worthwhile. So Jeff Eichen, peace in the Middle East. You know what that means. See you on Weeds Day this week. And that's all I know. I really had a blast resharing this with you. And I can't wait till my next episode of the Legends of Photography series. Annie Leibovitz, come to me. Linda Connor, come to me. And maybe we'll do some photographers that are no longer here. We'll do an episode of Dead Photographers. So love you. The series continues. The Legend of Photography Legacy Show. Jeff Eichen. Bye-bye.
Record.
So it's been really great, everybody. I'm on StreamYard now, and I'm going to go back, add myself here, and we're going to remove the beautifulness there. So thank you, StreamYard. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, POD Thank you, Twitch. Thank you, wherever I was hosting tonight. Thank you, and the Legends of Photography will live on. And don't forget to wear your T-shirt that you believe in, and wear your heart on your outside of your chest, so people can see that you're a love child. Okay. Love you all, everybody. That's all I have for you tonight. See you on next Legacy episode.